India dust storms kill more than 110 people. Northern India was pounded by massive storms, leaving death and destruction in their wake this week. At least 110 people have been killed after fierce dust storms struck the northern Indian states of Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan late on Wednesday. According to the BBC, the storms have cut electricity, uprooted trees, destroyed houses, and killed livestock. According to Uttar Pradesh's State Disaster Management Authority Commissioner Sanjay Kumar, the high casualty rate is due to people being trapped under falling debris caused from high-intensity winds, lightning strikes, and fallen trees. The annual monsoon season in India is just starting, where afternoon storms and periods of torrential rainfall become prevalent. The powerful winds brought by the afternoon storms could be one of the factors creating so much dust. Officials said they're shocked by the intensity of the dust storms, with some authorities worrying the death toll could increase. Can't get enough of the weather? Keep watching.
Delta flight skids off runway, landing in snowstorm in New York City. This airplane was attempting to land during a snowstorm at LaGuardia Airport in New York City when it skidded off the runway and crashed into a fence. The Delta Flight 1086 departed from Atlanta and was scheduled to land at New York's LaGuardia Airport at 11:10 a.m. It was snowing at the time the MD-80 aircraft approached runway 13. As the plane touched down, it skidded off the runway and crashed into a fence. Passengers evacuated the aircraft from emergency exits and slides. Following the accident, passengers posted images to social media and said they were thankful to be alive.
Incredible video captures massive multi-vehicle pile-up on frozen highway. Dozens of people and commercial vehicles were involved in a horrifying series of collisions on Thursday, April 16. This footage was recorded by a driver who could do nothing but watch as the carnage unfolded. As each of the giant road trains glided quietly in one after another, so came the crunch of each collision. People can be heard frantically trying to warn other incoming vehicles, but to no avail. According to Wyoming Highway Patrol, a combination of reckless driving and the strong blizzard caused the first two vehicles to lose control, leading to the pileup. Another witness recorded this footage of the aftermath. An estimated 45 vehicles were involved in total. A reported 27 people were wounded, with 6 critically.
This is crazy. I know the dumb son of a bitch just caused this.
Fortunately, no one is reported to have died.
Virginia school districts versus winter weather. Nature wins. School days in the U.S. are similar to typhoon days here in Taiwan, except here it isn't just the students who get the day off. The D.C. area was hit by an unexpected snowstorm Tuesday night. A dozen school buses were involved in crashes, while another 18 buses got stuck after several school districts chose not to cancel school. Forecast changed overnight from 1 inch to 2 to 4 before increasing up to 6 inches by mid-morning. Actual snowfall varied, as did the various school districts in their decision on whether or not to cancel school. Prince William County Police received 171 calls reporting vehicle crashes between 5 a.m. and noon, with 12 of those involving school buses. Other buses slid off the road and in some cases obstructed traffic. Even pedestrians were in danger. One 15-year-old girl was injured when she slipped while crossing an icy road and was struck by a car that was unable to stop. Montgomery and Prince George's counties called it off, but Loudoun, Fairfax, Arlington, and Prince William counties weren't about to let a couple inches of white stuff get in the way of children's education. Prince William County dodged responsibility by telling parents that they should know better. They later issued an apology and shifted some of the blame to the weather forecasters. But why send kids out into this danger? Just let them spend the day pissing their name in the snow.
TomoNews.net is throwing $100 bills of the 20 funniest comments on our website every month, only at TomoNews.net.
A large dip in the global jet stream has created the conditions for a massive snowstorm on the east coast. The National Weather Service warns that an incoming blizzard dubbed Winter Storm Juno may bring historic snowfalls to the northeast. Storm clouds are created at the intersection of hot air from the equator and cold air from the poles, also known as cold fronts. A mild winter storm Juno will make its way across the eastern part of the US towards Washington, D.C. before hitting a trough. Climate change has made the global jet stream slow down, causing troughs that correspond to cold, wet weather to dip deeper into the United States. Once Juno makes its way into the trough, the snowstorm will strengthen. Cold temperatures in the trough will cause stronger snowfall. Juno is expected to bring winds greater than 35 miles per hour or even 80 miles per hour to some areas. New York City will receive an estimated 15 to 30 inches of snow this week, the latter an amount that would surpass the city's previous record. Mayor Bill de Blasio has warned residents that New York could be facing, quote, one of the largest snowstorms in the history of the city.
New York mom trapped for 13 hours in snow, writes goodbye letters to her family. Karen Rosie posed for this picture with her daughter Madeline after she avoided becoming the 14th fatal victim of the recent snowstorm that blanketed Buffalo, New York with over 7 feet of snow. Rosie worked an extra shift at Mercy Hospital in Buffalo and got off around 3 a.m. Tuesday morning. On her way home in her daughter's Chevy Cobalt, she became stuck in a snowbank on Transit Road and William Street near a Rite Aid in Lancaster. A snowplow then passed by, pushing Rosie deeper into the snowbank and completely burying the car. She listened to her daughter's advice to clear the snow away from her tailpipe so she didn't die from carbon monoxide. As the hours ticked by, Rosie's phone died. Cold and wet from digging, she wrote goodbye letters to her daughters. Rosie stood on the window frame of her car and waved for help with the tip of a red snow brush. 13 hours after she became stuck, Dave Edwards spotted the snow brush and shoveled Rosie out of the snow-covered coffin. Edwards gave Rosie a lift home in his monster truck, but not without stopping 4 times to help out others in need.
Polar vortex brings dangerously cold weather to New England. A large part of the U.S. is preparing for the coldest December in years, after the polar vortex made a comeback. The polar vortex is located in the middle and upper troposphere and extends into the stratosphere. It is a band of low-pressure Arctic air, normally centered around the North Pole, and can strengthen or weaken. A strong polar vortex keeps the air closer to the North Pole, while a weak polar vortex spreads cold air southward. The polar vortex is held in place by a jet stream that divides cold air from warm air. The jet stream bends around high or low pressure weather systems. When it does, the center of the vortex moves south into North America. 2 Arctic blasts will make their ways into the U.S., with the first round of cold air already affecting the plains and upper Midwest. The second wave will plunge south of the Canadian border by this weekend. The most intense lobe of the polar vortex will cover New England by Friday, bringing dangerously cold weather to the area. The polar vortex was first reported in 2014, but major vortex events took place long before that, in 1977, 1982, 1985, and 1989.